Hello friends, welcome to TechnoGeek SFDC. In this series, we are going to start from the base of Salesforce, that how you can start your journey, what is Salesforce, what you should know in Salesforce, how you can do your first step into the Salesforce. So to understand it, first we need to understand what is Salesforce basically. Okay, so Salesforce is a cloud-based platform, okay, which provides you tools and features to do a customer relationship processes. So you must be thinking, what is customer relationship process? Okay, so in short term, customer relationship process is the whole cycle from where you first bring in the customers, where you try to attract the customers, and then they come as a potential leads, and then they do business with you, and then you provide them servicing. So if I tell in a general terms, okay, let's say you have a general store. Okay, so general store initially do their marketing, okay, to attract different types of customers. Okay, so that is their potential leads. Okay, and that's where they have started their um CRM journey, where first they are doing the marketing, they are letting people know that yeah, there is a general store in this area, and then people start going into that general store and getting the stuff. So that is something called a sales cycle of basically that general store, where they are doing the sales of that particular sales to that particular customer. And then comes your service. So let's say if the customer is purchasing some product from the general store, and he's taking it home, and if he feels that there is some issue with that particular product, so general stores take care of that. They provide the servicing for those particular products. Okay, so this is a small example of what CRM means, where basically you do a whole cycle of starting from getting getting the leads, or basically letting people know that yes, there is this type of business, and then you are providing business to them, and then you're providing a service to them. Okay, so I hope this gives you an overall idea of what customer relationship is. And since this is a very big cycle, Salesforce provide a platform where you can do, or you can manage all your processes on a single platform, where you can do marketing, where you can do sales, where you can do services. So Salesforce provides you a platform where you can do all these things together. And that's why Salesforce is a CRM platform. Basically, we call it as customer relationship management platform, where business and customers, they maintain their relationships, long-term relationships, so that customer can get benefit from the business, and business can get benefit from the customer. Okay, now one more thing is, it is a cloud-based platform. So what do you mean by cloud-based? Okay, so if you see in our previous applications or legacy applications, right, there you had many servers on in-house servers, where you need to maintain the server, which will be which will be providing the different functionalities, which will be storing your database. But in cloud-based platform, you don't need to take care of all that things. Okay, basically cloud-based platform means that you have a server. Okay, but it is not an in-house server. There are some other set of people who are already maintaining the server. They're taking care of all the securities and all. Okay, so you don't need to maintain a separate in-house server, and in turn this basically reduces your headache, reduces your costings on that. And that's where these cloud-based platforms are now becoming very much popular in demand, because you don't need to maintain them separately. This is already being handled by the company who are providing these platforms. Okay, so this is what Salesforce is. Basically, it's a cloud-based platform which provides a customer relationship management tools and features, so that you can do the whole relationship cycle in on a single platform, and you can maintain them easily. Okay, so this is what Salesforce is. Now, how you can start your journey in Salesforce. Okay, so many people think that I need to do, how I can learn, how I can grow my career in Salesforce. So for that, I will give you an idea how you can start your journey in Salesforce. So for that, you need two things foremost. Okay, first thing is the developer org. What developer org is? So developer org is again a Salesforce platform itself, which are free of cost, provided to all the aspirants who wants to learn Salesforce. Okay, so how you can create your developer org? So to create a developer org, what you need to do, you can just come to Google, and you can just search for Salesforce developer org. You will get first option of sign up for Salesforce developer edition. Okay, here you can provide all your details like your first name, last name, email address, role, company, from which country you belong, what is your postal code, and then you can provide your username. Okay. So since Salesforce is a cloud-based platform, it requires a username and password to log in into the Salesforce platform. Okay. One more thing, this username has to be unique. Okay. Usually these usernames are unique across the Salesforce. So let's say you have something called test@abc.com. Okay. Some other user cannot come and use the same username as test@abc.com. That will not be allowed. Okay. So you will give your username and then you can just click on sign me up. Now, whatever the email ID you have provided here, okay, you will receive an email from Salesforce to reset your password. Okay. And once you do the reset, you're good to go now. You have your username, you have your password, your developer edition is set up to use. Next thing what you need is you need a Trailhead account. So what Trailhead account is basically, so it's a collection of, you can say, scenarios, collection of materials provided by Salesforce for learning, for a learning purpose. Let's say any person who wants to do a self learning, they want to go on a self page, they want to work on a different scenarios to understand more in depth of the Salesforce concept. So for that we have a Salesforce platform. Okay. So that is called Trailhead. And for using Trailhead, you need to have a Trailhead account. So how you can use a Trailhead account? So again, for Trailhead, you can just search again Trailhead, and whatever the first link you get, that is official Trailhead site, you can click on that. Okay. Once you click on that, you will get a screen something like this, where you have an option to sign up or log in. Okay. If you have already a Salesforce developer edition, you can log in directly. Or if you don't have any Salesforce edition yet, you can use your Google or you can use a Facebook, etc. to log in into the Trailhead account. So as soon as you will click on sign up, okay, so it will ask you how you want to sign up. Basically, whether you have an Salesforce account with which you want to sign up, or whether you want Google, LinkedIn, or Apple or Facebook, you want these platforms to sign up into the Salesforce. Okay, so if you have any already developer edition, which you have already created, I think the previous one which I mentioned you. So if you have the developer edition, you can use that. You can click on Salesforce and then you can give the username and password, and automatically it will create a Trailhead playground for you. So I'll show you how it will look like. Like I already have a Trailhead playground, so I can show you how it looks like. So I'll log in with Salesforce, and then here you need to give your Salesforce username and password. Okay. So once you give username and password, it will uh, it will take you to the Trailhead playground on the start page of your Trailhead playground. Okay. So now if you see here, your name will start coming up, and this is how the Trailhead playground will look like. Okay. You will get a lot of things here. Like if you want to learn, you have trails, you have modules, you have projects, you have many other contents to learn. Okay. And that all these things are free of cost. Okay. So this is what Trailhead playground is. You can also update your profile in the Trailhead playground. That is, you can click on profile, and it will take you to a profile where, and if you see, Trailhead will provide you a unique ID which will be your Trailhead ID. So not only you, let's say some other person, or let's say some other company tries to validate your Trailhead account, that whether you have an account on Trailhead, whether you have, let's say, 100 badges or something like that, then they can use these ID to validate. Okay. Here you can provide your picture, you can provide your LinkedIn links, and you can provide many other details, whatever you want. And whatever certifications you will be doing in future, that can also get linked to Trailheads. So whatever certifications you will do, it will start showing up here, because Trailhead is the place now where you need to do the maintenance of your Salesforce certifications. Okay, we'll come to Salesforce certifications as well in later phase. So this is to give you an overview what Trailhead playground is or how it looks like. Okay, so I hope you got an idea what Salesforce Trailhead Playground is. Now, let's start with what is Salesforce or what is a model in Salesforce. Model in Salesforce is the first and foremost thing which you need to learn. Why? Because any platform, okay, whether it's a Salesforce or whether it's any other platform, they need data to work on them. Okay, any business feature, any business requirement require data, right? Model are the places where you store your data. Or simple terms, if I tell, models are nothing but the database tables. Okay, where you store your data. In Salesforce, we call them as an objects. Now, if you don't know anything about what tables are, so tables are nothing but a you can consider as an Excel sheet. Okay, where you can consider Excel as one whole table, and you have multiple columns in it. You provide the data, and then that basically stores in that particular table. Or if I show you a visualization of what the tables are basically, okay. So let's say you have certain information regarding, let's say, personal information of people which you want to collect and store at some place. Let's say in Salesforce you want to store it, okay. So the table is the tables are basically collection of columns. Okay. So as you can see here on the UI, you have a table where you have multiple columns like first name, last name, email, and date of birth. Okay. And as soon as you provide some entry into that, okay, it gets stored into that particular table. So now here our table name is personal information, which are having multiple columns called first name, last name, email, and date of birth. Okay. So these are the places where basically you store your Salesforce data, and they are known as models, or in Salesforce terms, they are known as objects. You will be listening these terms very frequently when you will move ahead in the further videos. Okay. So they are known as objects. So here personal information is my object. Okay. And then in that I have multiple columns called first name, last name, and all. So in Salesforce terms, we call them as a fields. Okay. So your object is personal informations, and first name, last name, email, and date of birth. They are fields in Salesforce. Okay. So before we start what are fields and all, we should understand what are different types of objects present in Salesforce. Okay. So as we discussed earlier, that Salesforce also provides tools and features to work on CRM management. Okay. So that means Salesforce provides some model or some database uh, from itself as well as a part of platform which you can use. Okay. So whatever the objects are provided by Salesforce as an out of the box, they are known as standard objects. Okay. So let me show you quickly how the standard object looks like. So for example, as part of any sales process, you have account, contacts, and all that stuff. So these are the objects which are provided by Salesforce based on what type of cloud you want to work on. If you want to work on Sales Cloud, you will get many objects like account, contacts, and all that stuff. If you want to work on Service Cloud, you will get many objects like case and others. They will come out of the box to you. Okay. So as soon as you log in into your developer edition or which you have signed up, okay, you will be landed to a screen something like this, which you're seeing here. Okay, they are known as home pages. Home pages 3. On top right, if you see, there is a gear icon. Okay, so if you click on gear icon, you will see something called setup. You click on setup and you come to object manager. Okay, you will see lot of objects present already in your Salesforce org. You have not created any object yet, but still you can see a lot of objects are already present in your Salesforce org. So they are known as standard objects. These objects provided by Salesforce so that you can use them and you can work on them. Okay. If you see the type as well, they will be mentioned as standard objects here. Okay. Now, we got to know what standard objects are. Okay. Now, second thing is what is custom object. So many a times you get a scenario where, or you get a business requirement where your out of the box objects are not going to suffice your requirement. Okay. So let's say you get some application with, or let's say you want to build some CRM management for school. Okay. And school is having some objects, or you can say school are having some requirement where they want to store the classroom information or subject information. Now, you don't have any object for classroom or subject in Salesforce currently. Okay. So what you can do is you can create your own objects as well in the Salesforce, and they are known as custom objects. So how you create that? So again, you need to come to Object Manager, and on the right side, you see there is an option called Create. Click on it, and you have an option called Custom Object. As soon as you click on Custom Object, you will be navigated to a page where it will ask you certain informations. Like you can say, let's assume our class example itself. Okay, so here you can give label as class. What is the plural of this object? That is your classes. And then you can see something called object name. Okay, or we call it as API name. API name is very important in Salesforce to work on any kind of functionality, because Salesforce in backend only understand what API name is. Okay, so if you want to work on any backend process of Salesforce, Salesforce will only understand the language of API, that is API name. So if you want to, let's say, refer any object, so you need to use the API name of that particular object. Now, let's say I already have some custom objects, so I can show you that example. So this is how the first creation page looks like. Okay, where you get a name field out of the box whenever you create any object. Now, if you want, you can make that name field as a normal text. So anyone wants to store data, they will they need to enter the value in name. Or if you want to make it auto incremental type, like let's say you have class, okay, and if you want every time the name of the record should be something like class 1 and then 2, 3, 4, and that needs to get incremented automatically. In that case, you can use auto numbers. So as soon as any record will get created, the name will be populated based on the format which you are providing for that particular object. Okay. So it can be like class. The format is always followed by the name, and then open braces and close braces. And in open and close braces, you need to provide how many records you are expecting. So let's say if you are expecting around 10,000 records, so somewhere in thousands. Okay. So you can give four zeros here, or you can give five zeros. If you're expecting that the record can go up to millions or billions, then you can give number of zeros here. And what will be the starting number? So starting number is basically, let's say anyone is creating the record, first record which is getting created, what will be the number of that? So if I'm giving starting number as 1, then my record will be created as class dash 00000, and at the end it will be 1. And every time any new record will be created, it will start getting incremented on your previous record number. Okay, so now you have created 1, next time someone will create, it will become 2. Okay, so this is what auto number is. We will come to this as well when we will start discussing on the fields. So this is what custom object is. Custom object, basically, if you want to build your own object to suffice the business requirement, you can create them, and they are known as custom objects. Okay, now if you want to differentiate between custom and standard objects, again, you can come to Object Manager, and there are two ways. First is you can check on type. So on type, it will start showing as custom object. Another difference is as soon as you create any custom object, it will automatically append underscore underscore C in the API name. Okay, and this is what your unique API name gets created for any object. Okay, so that Salesforce can understand that you want to work on this particular object based on your API name. Okay, that's why I said API name is very important in Salesforce, whether it's an object or it's a field or anything. API names are very important. So all the custom objects will have underscore underscore C at the end. Okay, and that will differentiate them from the standard object because standard object doesn't have any underscore underscore C. Okay, so I hope you got an idea of what custom objects are or what standard objects are in Salesforce. So now let's talk about fields in Salesforce. So what fields are? Okay, so fields are similar to columns what we have in the table. So in tables, basically we have multiple columns where you store the data. Similarly, in Salesforce, we call them as a fields. Okay, so let's try to understand with the table example what we had. Okay, so here you can see that you have a table called personal information in which you have multiple columns called first name, last name, age, email, and date of birth. Okay, similarly, to capture the data from a user, you can create multiple fields in Salesforce. Okay, and they can be of various types. If you want, you can create a text field, you can create number field, currency, email, date of birth, date, time. So lot of those types of field options are there which you can create in the Salesforce objects. So now let's see how you can do that. So before we create any custom field, I would like to tell that there is also something like standard fields. Okay, so similar to standard objects, as soon as you create your Salesforce org, you get some objects out of the box. Similarly, you get some fields as well out of the box, and they are known as standard fields. So if I go to account and under fields and so you can create or view all the fields in the fields and relationship tabs. Now here, if you have not created any custom field, you will be able to see lot of fields here called owner ID, record type ID, name, and account. So these are out of the box field which Salesforce provides you to do your business requirement. But many times you are not satisfied with the out of the box fields, and as per your business requirement, you need some extra fields to capture the information. So those are custom fields which you can create. So how you can create a custom field? So if you come to any fields and relationships, you will get an option of new here. Okay, once you click on new, you will get an option of what type of field you want to create, whether you want to create a text field, you want to create a pick list field, whether you want to create a percentage type field or number field. So you have a lot of options. You can select any one of them and you can continue ahead. So for example, let's say I want to create a text field. Okay, and I can click on next. Next will be you can provide any label for that text field. So on UI, your label will be visible to the end user. Okay. So you can give like first name, something like that. Now, next thing to notice here is field name got auto populated with an underscore. So all the space and all got replaced by underscore. Field name is API name of the field. Okay, and that's what we discussed during the object as well. That API names are very much important in Salesforce because Salesforce understand the language of APIs only. Okay, so whatever the field API name is there, Salesforce can only understand that particular value in backend. Okay, so if you want to retrieve some information, let's say if you have some information stored in first name field, so if you want to retrieve that information, you will be using the API name of that particular field, and that's the importance of API names. Okay, so you can see all the spaces got changed to underscore because in API names you cannot have any space. It has to be a continuous text. Okay, next is you can select the length, up to what length user can enter. So by default for text it is 255 character, but you can keep it as 10, 15 or something like that, less than 255 characters. Okay, then you have other options as well, whether you want these fields to be required or not, whether so that user has to fill the information, otherwise he will not be able to save the records. Okay, and also whether you want this field to be unique. So whatever values user are entering, that has to be unique. It should not conflict with the value present in any other record. Okay. Similarly, you have an option whether you want to add in the reports, you want to use it as an external ID. So external ID usually comes in picture when you have your integrations in place. We will discuss about that as well. Okay. So as soon as you give you give all the inputs here. Also, in text, you can set a default value. So if user is not giving any input for that particular field, by default, this value gets stored. Okay, so that is called default value. Then you can click on next. Here you will have an option to select the profile on which this field should be visible or editable. Okay, we will talk about profiles as we will come to our sharing and visibility section. And then next, when you click on next, you will get an option that on what all page layouts you want to add this particular field. Okay, page layouts we will come after this. So we will discuss about page layouts as well. So since I already have some custom fields in my system, so I can showcase that. So all the custom fields which you create, irrespective of whether it's a standard object or custom object, all the custom fields will get appended with underscore C. And that is the differentiating factor where you can find out that all the standard fields will not have this underscore C, but custom fields will have. Okay, so this is how you can create as many number of custom fields. There is certain limitation on number of custom fields as well on an object, like I think around 500 something, but still there's a lot, the limitation is very high, so you can still create a lot of custom fields based on your business requirement. So and custom fields only admins can create. Okay, so that's also something, a person who is having system admin access, he will be able to create the custom objects or custom fields. Okay, so this is what we saw about custom fields. Now let's talk about what are page layouts in Salesforce. Okay, so if I talk about page layouts, okay, so you have object, you have fields, but page layouts are your external representation of the fields where user will be giving the inputs. Okay, so page layouts are those places where you keep your fields. Okay, you can make the arrangement of your fields, like how the field should be arranged, which field should come first, which field should come next, what all custom buttons you want to showcase there. Okay, so all these things you can arrange on a page layout, and once user will try to insert a record from a UI, he will see that particular page layout. Okay, and he will see the page layout, and he will see what all the arrangement of your fields. He will see where first name is, he will see where last name is. So usage of page layouts are first to capture the data. Okay, capture the information. Page layouts are required because without UI, where user will insert the information. Okay, so first thing first is that, and then also page layouts gives you a feasibility that you can arrange the field in such a way that it is useful for a user to understand the data correctly which you have inserted. Okay, so on page layouts, he can, if the let's say he is in user is initially interested to see personal information, then he wants to see related information, so you can arrange the fields in such a way that as soon as user will land on the record page, first he will see the personal information. So it is a kind of representation of your data which is present in the system, and for that we use the page layouts. Now, how we create a page layout? So first thing to notice, as soon as you create any custom object, okay, by default you get a page layout for that. So by default you will get a default page layout on it, and if you want, you can create a new page layout as well based on your requirement. So to create a page layout, you can go to object, or maybe I can show you for some custom object. So let's say I have a custom object called asset object. As soon as you come to asset object, there is a section called page layouts. Click on this and you will see what all page layouts are present in the system. Okay, by default you will see at least one page layout here, and now you have an option, either you want to use the same page layout, so you can edit it, and as soon as you edit it, you will get a screen something like this. Okay, where you will have all the fields mentioned here. So you can just drag and drop fields wherever you want to. You can drag and drop a separate section altogether, and you can create a separate section. Like you can just drag something like this and create a new section. Okay. Similarly, you also have an option to create some custom fields, and you can drag and drop on the UI. And along with the custom fields, you have a lot of other options, whether you want to add quick actions, whether you want to add the related list. Related lists are basically the records related to that particular record. Okay, we will come to related list once we will start talking about the relationships. Okay, so this is an overview of how page layout looks like. And you can also preview the page layout as per any profile, or you can do a quick save, you can do a save, and then you can show, and the same thing will be shown on the UI. If you want to create a new page layout, you can click on the new. You can select if you want to take a reference from existing page layout, or if you want to just create a whole together new page layout. Okay, and you can just click on test and click on save. So it will create a new page layout, and then you can work on them. Okay, so this is the use case of page layout. Now you have object, you have page layout, but there should be an entry point, right, where you will go, so that you will be able to see the page layouts and you will be able to start entering the information. Okay, so the entry point are tabs basically. Okay, so you can access the records, or you can create the records from UI via tabs. Okay, so how you can create the tabs in Salesforce? Again, so that's what. So try to understand tab, why it is so much necessary. You have something in backend. Okay, you have everything, all the things prepared in backend to use, but you need some path, or you need some way to access that backend, right? So that you can use it, and that accessibility you can get by the tabs. Okay, so now how you can create a tab? So you can again come to setup. You can click on tabs. You can basically search in the search bar on the tabs, and you will get an option called tabs here. In this, you have an option to create a tab for custom object. This is a custom object tabs. Okay, so you can, for standard objects, tabs are already present. Okay, but for custom objects, you need to create a tab so that user can access it. Now you can click on new, and you can select whatever the custom object for which you want to create a tab. Okay, so each object will have one tab, so it's one to one relationship, one tab, one object. Okay, so in the drop down you will see what all custom objects you have present in your org. You can select any one of them. Okay, and then what is the tab style you want to keep? So you have a lot of tab styles already provided by Salesforce, so you can provide a uh, tab style basically you can provide, and then you can click on next. Okay, I need to select one. Let's say I'm selecting demo. Okay, so tab style is again mandatory. I'll select anyone, and I'll go to next. So now on next screen, you will see that what all profile should have this tab accessibility. Okay, if you want to show this particular object, or if you want to show this particular tab only to certain people, then you can use the profile accessibility. You can give access to that particular profile. So the tab access you can give to any particular profile, so that the user who is having that particular profile will only be able to see this tab. Okay, next is apps. So in Salesforce, apps are nothing but they are collection of tabs. Okay, all custom objects, all custom features, basically they are associated with tabs, and apps are basically collection of tabs. So on what all apps you want to include this particular custom tab, you can select that, and you can click on save. So it will create a custom tab for you. Okay, and in Salesforce, you can create tabs not only for the objects, but you can create for the custom components, customize different customizations as well. We will talk through about that as well. Okay, so this is an overview of tab basically. So it's a medium of accessing the backend data on the UI. Okay, now let's see how this tab works. Okay, so for example, I have a tab called demo objects. Okay, if you want to search for any tab, first thing is either you can select for the application. So this is called app launcher. Okay, 9 dots in the top left, this is called app launcher. Once you click on app launcher, you will see some of the applications which is already provided by Salesforce. You can create your own application as well. Okay, so from here you can select any app. Okay, or basically collection of tabs. If you are not able to find your apps, you can also click on view all. Okay, and in this view you will see all the tabs present in your system, or all the tabs present in your system to which you have the accessibility, I would say in short. Okay, so now here I can select search for demo object, and I can see that I have something called demo object here. Okay, once I click on demo object, it will take you to a page. You will see a page something like this. Okay, so these are known as list views. We will discuss more about list views as well as we go further. So in short, these are list views which will provide you the list of records to which you have the accessibility. Okay, now you have an option. So now we have now table, we have now fields, we have page layouts, we have tabs. Okay, now let's see how we can enter the data in Salesforce. Okay, so as soon as you come to any object, okay, via tab, you will get an option called new. You can click on new and see this is the page layout what I was talking about. Okay, so these are the page layouts where you can place your fields. So currently for demo object, my page layouts is having three fields and they are arranged in vertical order. You can also arrange in any other order, like if you want two columns, you can do in that way, and multiple ways are there. What we have seen, like you can create two column, you can create single column, and something like that. So first thing I need to, and now whatever the fields yours, so this is called edit form. Okay, so this is the edit form where user will enter the data. Okay, he will enter his inputs. Now certain, so whatever the red dot you are seeing in front of name, so here on the page you will see field label. You will not see field API name. Field API name is for backend. So here you will see field label. Okay, and dot in front of field label is making sure, or is indicating that this particular field is a mandatory field, that user has to provide some value into this field, then only he can create the record. Okay, so you can see the difference. Some fields are having dot in front of them, or star, red star mark, and my last field, that is account, it is not having any, well, any star mark. So this is not a mandatory field. If I leave this as blank, then also I will be able to save the record. Now let's say I'll give something like test, and test object, I'll just provide some, or maybe I'll show you some simple example. This is quite a confusing one for you. So I'll come with the accounts. Okay, so I have account here. I clicked on account, I click on new, and this is my page layout where you can see. So this is what I was telling about the layouts. This is one layout what I have, and in this particular layout I have created multiple sections like account information, account uh, summary, account details, and all that stuff. Okay, so whatever is your page layout structure defined by the business, you can create on the page layouts. Okay, now here you can see I can just create something called test account. Okay, test account demo, and I don't think so I have any other mandatory fields here. And now as you can see, I get these three options by default out of the box, that is save and new, and cancel. So once you click on save, the record will get saved and you will be navigated to the view of that particular record. Okay, And if you're clicking on save and new, then it will save the record in backend. But again, it will show this pop-up so that you can create another record and then again you can create it. And cancel means you don't want to create any record and you can just click on cancel. This will close the pop-up. No record will be inserted in backend. Okay. So let's say if I click on save. So this was the edit view. Now you will see what view form basically. So this is how the view looks like. Okay. That was the editable mode. This is a view mode. Here in view mode, you can see whatever the information you want to see. So this is the name, account name. It is having the value which I have provided on the UI, and then you have other fields as well. So this is a view form. Now the thing is, if you can see some of the fields like created by, last modified by, these gets auto populated. Okay, they are known as system fields basically. So these gets auto populated. And if you want, so you have created a record. Now if you want, you can even edit them. So to edit a record, you will have some you either you can click on this double pencil icon, or you can have an action called edit icon, edit here. So edit we will also see once you will start looking into the custom buttons. Okay, so this is to give an overview of what page layouts are, what's the use of tab, how page layouts looks like, how you can create the records in Salesforce. Okay, so this is the way of creating records. Similarly, you can create as many records as you want based on your business requirement. Okay, so I hope you found this video interesting, and with this, we will try to share more ideas and more about the Salesforce, and I hope you will learn soon. So thanks for your time. Thank you.